All right. Hey, man. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing
Yeah,
well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. We're going to be talking about Profit Partner, everybody. And I can tell you, I've used it and it is an interesting app to keep track of all of life's everything. And we're going to get
That's
into this
right.
a little bit. And, I can tell you, you do have it now on Product Hunt, right? You've been able to put
Yes.
it up there. You're going to need some
Yep.
some votes and all that kind of good stuff. So
Yes.
Um, we're going to put it out there. You guys take a look at this, take a look at Profit Partner and what it does. We're going to pop it up here in a second. But before we do that, I was thinking about some other areas, Stephen, that you can introduce Profit Partner and have other affiliates present it to the world and to their folks, right? So I'm thinking that obviously put it on Udemy, that's one opportunity. But what I really was thinking about, if you could put it on, load it up to Munch Eye, right?
Hmm.
Munch Eye is just a place where it lets people know what products are coming, what software is coming, what kind of things are coming, and then affiliates come on and go, hey, this looks pretty good,
Hmm.
and they kind of get it in, take a look at it, and kind of do it, put it through their little ringer. But then they start promoting it to their lists and all that kind of stuff. That's just another way for you to put it there. And if you decide you want to licenses, allow people to white label it or whatever it is, right? They call it something else. You will still
Right.
get paid for that. And it's just an opportunity to, again, take your product, put it out widely, and have other people, because of what they have, distribute it. Just another
So so
opportunity for you.
that so that's truly your early adapters then, right? Like
Absolutely. Some of the early
yeah.
adopters that just know technology and just know that
Yeah.
if it will be valuable for who they present products to. Like, say, for
Okay.
example, I go on there and I'm looking on Munch Eye and I'm looking over there and I'm saying, what's new, what's coming. It gives you a listing of what's coming. Typically, the product is like JV Zoo, right?
Right.
Warrior Plus,
Mhm.
not Click, not ClickBank, but those particular ones, right? It says what's coming to them, and people say, I know that this will be of service, and you'll have videos and all that kind of good stuff, right? But anyway, so I want to see it in action. You've had it out, you've refined it a little bit. I want to kind of like walk through a couple of things so people can take a look at it. And even if you do have your affiliates come on, they can maybe use this video to see how it works and how it could work for the people they present. So if you can go ahead and pull it up, go for it.
Absolutely. So let me go ahead and share my screen while I'm pulling that up. Uh, what I'll do is I'll go through a blank template that I've got
Okay.
set up. So as you know, the customer purchases this program, they'll get this blank template. They'll also get one that's filled out with example information, not necessarily the same stuff that I'm entering here, but there's some really good examples, and I'm very excited about this one. This is one that I think is going to change the game. This is
Right. Well, give us a
I
little
put up here.
background on Profit Partner and, what kind of made you start it and what it is, basically.
Yeah. So profit partner, you can see up here kind of my tagline. It's
Mhm.
entrepreneur's best friend in a world of profits and losses. So really what it's doing is it does all of the heavy lifting, all the calculations for you. And you enter in a few pieces of information, which we walk you through step one, step two, step three, and then what it'll do is it'll spit out and it'll tell you, hey, you need to raise your prices, or
Mm.
hey, the quantity that you need to sell this month is probably not realistic based on what your average is. So
Mm.
let's look at maybe either raising your prices or making some other changes in costs or anything like that. So Profit Partner uses an input of the different products or services that you're offering,
Mhm.
as well as what you're paying for each product or service. So whether it's a fixed cost or variable cost, which we'll get into in a little bit, and then it takes all that and says, okay, this is how much you truly pay for your product. You pay. So me as the entrepreneur, this is how much I'm paying to keep this
Mhm.
product alive, or to just get this product out there. But then how much am I actually making? So yes, I
That's
may be
good.
making, $10 per sale, but what's my true profit, right? There's a big difference between profits and revenues, which I think a lot of newer entrepreneurs, quite honestly, And even some seasoned entrepreneurs can miss that one. Is the difference between profits and revenues. Revenue is not the end game. Your end game is profits,
Right.
right? You still got to pay the bills. You still got to keep the lights on. So profit partner kind of helps you get through that. It helps you understand, this is what I'm going to net, what I'm going to get as a profit out of my products or services. So that's kind of what I want to get through with this example and with this tool in general.
Great. Go ahead and plug some stuff in, man, so we can see
Let's
how it's working.
Let's do it. So I'll enter in. Let me start entering in some stuff. So I'm gonna start with my favorite, Decision Buddy. I'll put Profit Partner on there.
Now,
so
why is Decision Buddy your favorite?
The Decision Buddy's my baby. Decision Buddy's my firstborn.
And what is Decision Buddy? That's another tool.
It's another tool. If you all go to getdecisionbuddy.com, it'll take you to the website to download it. It's basically just that. It's a decision making app or tool. It's available on the App Store. It's also available in Excel like this or spreadsheet format. But what you do is you input a few things and then it'll spit out the correct decision. So if you think about buying a house, for instance, right, you can have 5 different options that you really like as you're looking at houses, and you want to pick between those 5. Decision Buddy, as you enter in your different things that are important to you, Decision Buddy will tell you, hey, this is the one that you need to go with. Like, nice. Take all the noise out of it. Like, this is the house that you need to go with. So that's that. I love Decision Buddy. Decision Buddy's actually been one of my top sellers, and that's my baby. That's my
all right.
baby.
So okay, but Profit Partner now. Yeah, Profit Partner comes along and says, hey, entrepreneurs, if you want to know where you are financially.
Yes. Yep. So, and then that's right. Profit Partner comes here. So I'm just going to keep listing down. We'll just go through examples. I'll say one of the services that I may offer is coaching, right? Maybe I will offer coaching by the hour.
All right.
One of my latest pet projects is called the Social Grain. So I'll put that one on there. Okay. That's another concept that I'm looking at. Let's look at one more. Let's say, I don't know, podcast that I may be getting some kind of payment for. So I'll stop with these 5. Obviously, there's always plenty of work streams that you can add in there. There's always plenty. So first step is you enter in your different work streams or products that you want to track. Step 2 is what are your anticipated costs? So there's 2 different sections to this one. One is fixed, one is variable. Fixed cost is the cost that doesn't change no matter how many units you sell. So if you think of
that's going to be your rent, that's going to be your lights, that's going to be your insurance, that's going to be. Yep, I work with entrepreneurs and I tell them this all the time, and they go, "Okay, I don't know which one is which, but I'm putting it right here." Okay.
That's right. So let's do that. So rent, right? Yeah. So rent, and then you go across the line and you can say, the thing that I'm paying rent for is
gotcha. I see how that populated
by the hour, right? And maybe I pay $2,000 each month. So you come in here, you select your product or service, which comes off of that top step 1. You put in the dollar value, you put in how often you pay for this. So we're going to say monthly.
Okay.
And then you go on to the next. Right, you go on to the next thing. So let's say I have to pay for website hosting, right? And the one that I'm specifically looking at is, we'll say, Decision Buddy.
Okay.
And for that one, I'll say I pay, I don't know, $30 a month. And these are not necessarily true numbers. This is just kind of what I'm estimating. We'll say, what are my other products I have up here? So Profit Partner. We'll call it hosting as well. Maybe this one is on a different website that I'm hosting on. And this one I have to pay a flat fee of $10 a month or and so on. So we can keep going down. I want to have one for at least each one. So let's do the Social Grain. We're going to call this one utilities. And this is, let's say, we have a location that we're renting out. and we're paying $300. Actually, let's do something a little different. So you can choose between daily, weekly, monthly, annually, or one-time fee.
Okay,
So
I got you. Like startup cost,
right,
ongoing
exactly,
cost. Exactly.
So let's say we pay $200 per week for utilities and Social Grain, which is quite a bit, but we'll say we're in downtown DC and it's expensive down there. We'll call it onboarding, like you mentioned, startup costs, right? For podcast. Let's say I'm finding folks, I want to bring
you hired it out, right?
Podcast,
so it's going to cost you.
So we'll estimate that it's going to be $500 for a one-time fee, and so on. So we can keep going down this list. We can keep building onto it and keep going on. Next thing that I'm going to enter is going to be my variable costs. So variable costs. So fixed costs, we said, doesn't change, right? So your rent, utilities, onboarding, things like that. Your variable cost is anything that's a cost per unit sold.
Yep. So as associated with doing business, right?
With doing business.
You got material. So if you got sell one, that's one. If you sell 10, because you're selling 10, you're going to need more material, et cetera, et cetera. Yep.
Gotcha. Right. That's exactly it. So coaching by the hour, right? I'm just going to say the cost is labor, right? My time, the time that I'm spending doing this. I could call that, and depending on how much I charge, we'll just say that's $200 per unit. So that's by the hour. The next one I have is Decision Buddy. Maybe I have to pay a fee to the host, sales fee.
Yep.
And that's Decision Buddy. Let's say I have to pay, I don't know.
So let's say you're selling this as like a software, like you're doing, and then every time you pay, you have to pay a fee. Every time somebody buys,
correct.
You have to pay a fee.
Exactly. So every time somebody pays me, I then have to turn around and pay whatever site I'm hosting it off of. Right.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So that's kind of my example there for profit.
You don't have to go in order. I noticed that it'll just kind of pick up. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to go in order. So so let's jump around a little bit. So let's say the bakery, the Social Grain, we got to buy ingredients.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So Social Grain, and that's going to change per unit sold, right? Whether it's bread or tea or whatever it may be. Let's say that's, I don't know what it'll be, probably $2 per thing that I'm selling. And then you can move on to like the podcast and things like that. So, maybe what else is there? So Profit Partner, then we can jump around Profit Partner. Same thing. We can say there's a sales fee. Come in here. We'll say this one is $2. So that's kind of what the concept of this is, right? Is you enter your fixed costs and your variable costs, and then from there, this is where it gets really cool. So the last step is where you enter in what is your price per unit. So how much are you planning, or how much are you actually selling each one of your products for each one? So Decision Buddy. I think I'm charging right now $27 for that or something, which is
gotcha.
Still. So $27. Profit Partner, I think, is another $25. Coaching by the hour, let's say that's $300 or so. Social Grain, so whatever I'm selling on there, we'll say that's $10 per. And then my podcast, we'll say I'm making $100 per episode. So now what happens is, we can see the total fixed costs. So everything we entered in over here, we can see the total variable cost per unit and what the profit per unit is. What happens over here, and this is the fun part, is it tells us these are our monthly break-even units. So for Decision Buddy, I only need to sell one in order to break even, right? Because I'm only paying $33 or $33 per unit, but I'm selling it for $27, right? So I need to sell one and then make sure that my next one is when I'll actually break even. So if I change that and I say I'm making, or I'm charging, $27, I change that to be $50, right? That my profit per unit goes up, and it still shows, I still only need to sell that one to break even. Now, if I brought that down and I say, okay, maybe I'll just charge $10 per.
You're going to discount it and, give
Exactly.
somebody a break, first time, using it. I get it.
Exactly. So now I need to sell 4 in order to make sure that I'm profitable. So you can kind of see how it changes as I change the price. So if I change it from $5, I need to sell 15. If I go back up to my $27, that's like the perfect level. If you think you're only going to sell 1 unit, per month, one captive decision bunny.
Right.
Anything above that is profit, right? If I sell 2, then that's profit. That second one is for the most part pure profit.
So I see just right here, it allows you to make some decisions. Like, for example,
yes.
If you've got a podcast and it's costing you that much in variable cost, which you shouldn't have a lot of variable, or coaching by hour, you shouldn't have a lot of variable cost in that kind of setup. So that could tell you, I should probably find a means by which to put this on the fixed cost side of it, or find, some cheaper vendors that can help me as I put together my coaching by hour. So the whole concept behind the coaching by hour is that I don't have a lot of costs associated with it. Maybe some fixed, but not a lot of variable. So what that because if I got to sell 108 of those things, or no, if I got to sell 20 of those things, then that makes me decide, where should I sell them?
Right.
Should I be online? Right. Should I be one to many? All these kind of things. Yeah, I get it.
Absolutely. So this one that did turn red, though, you see this, it says I have to sell 108 this month. And this is just based on my average sales for each one of my products.
Sure.
It puts in here this suggestion. So consider raising your price for this product by at least $10.
This is good.
So
and because it's really telling you. Now it's intelligence saying,
it's telling you.
You want to hit this number?
That's right.
Raise your price.
Right. Exactly. Raise your price. So at least $10. Let's say I raise it 15 and put up $25.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. It's not going to be perfect yet, but it gets us in the right direction. So now it's saying, okay, you did that. Maybe raise it a little bit more, because you still got to sell about 37, for this month, which is not horrible, but we can still find room to improve, just because our fixed cost is so high. Right. So even if we put it to 50, then it starts changing around a little bit. So as you can see, it starts to balance out a little bit. There's some of the stuff throwing it off, but all of this is based on how many of these units, quote unquote units, you have to dedicate to be able to sell each month in order to be profitable. So it tries to balance it out. It's like it's coaching by the hour. You have to sell 20 hours worth of coaching, and then 18 units. But then your other things is just 0, 1, and 5, right? Yeah. So those are minuscule compared to the others. So what this does is it tries to balance everything out. So as you continue to change it, there's sort of an algorithm behind it that updates regularly. As you change it, change these prices, it'll dynamically change everything else for you and basically say, okay, now you should actually, up your prices for this product now.
That's interesting. And it's really I can really see people that have a lot of irons in the fire.
Yes.
This tool really being for people that, I can't say I'm not doing just one thing. I got to do 15 things. Okay, you do? All right. And if all of those 15 things are now feeding you, here's what you need to do, right? I can really, I'd love to see the tool be able to tell folks, listen, this right here is saying you only have to do this much to break even. So what then becomes, your actual and overall big need? Absolutely. You see what I mean? Entrepreneurs, look, we're all entrepreneurs in the room here. So we are notorious for doing more than one thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So if that is your deal, imagine plugging these in and it starts telling you, well, if you want to get to this kind of income, then you need to consider 20, 18, 5, and it starts switching. I can see that it starts switching. Yeah. That kind of tells you got to go over to coaching and tell them to raise their prices.
That's exactly it. So, I may have raised prices on Social Grain, but now that I'm balancing it out a little bit, maybe I need to raise prices on the coaching by the hour too, right? Like, because I still got to balance my time. And that's what this is, right? Is it's more than just a profit partner. It's more than just a profitability tool. it's also, how do I spend my time, each
Mm,
month? Like, how do I balance my time? Like this, the way I'm looking at it right now is I need to spend a lot of time on coaching and the social grain in order to make sure those two things are profitable. The other three items that I have on here, not much, right? If I can just sell one unit, like I'm good.
mm.
But what you can do now is actually balance that out by changing the price, by looking at your costs that you're paying. If you can change the cost a little bit, you can lower your price, right? Because I say, okay, I'm able to sell more Decision Buddy products,
Uh-huh,
so
uh-huh.
let's bring that down to 10 or $5 or something like that, right? And now I can balance my product out, maybe profit partner, right? I can give a discount this month and sell it for five
Oh,
dollars
that's
as
good.
well.
So if you want to bundle
So
something, yeah, I get it.
exactly. So this way you can still see, okay, even if I do give a discount, I'm still going to make a profit. I'm still going to break even,
Uh-huh.
with break even being the moment where you're actually profitable, with the number of sales that you make. But I'm also going to be able to balance my time around a little bit better, right? Because
Gotcha. I
not
like that.
only,
I like that.
yeah, yeah. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. There's a lot to it. A lot of background calculations that we won't get into, but
You don't
it's
want to see the math that the brain over here is put in there, right?
I
We just
love
want to
that.
see stuff that works
That's right.
and that stuff
That's
that
right.
gives us information to make
Exactly.
decisions, right? And that's
Yes.
why I really loved when you came out with Profit Partner, because it was so good to be used for, again, those entrepreneurs that have a lot of things going, entrepreneurs that's talking to you. And I can see some other opportunities here that we'll talk a little bit about this off air, but I can see this being used in a variety of other areas, just a couple of tweaks here and there,
Right.
that gives people the opportunity to make it now a better decision based on the math and not the heart, right? Because
Yeah.
I see it all the time, Stephen. I see it where entrepreneurs say, well, I want to do this. And then, okay, well, let's just plug that into our calculations, our spreadsheet, and let the spreadsheet tell us
That's right.
what we should be doing or what we need to outsource or what we
Yeah.
need to delegate. Those become, I think, when I look at this, those become extra opportunities to tell. I can afford to put somebody on Decision Buddy, Social Grain, or Profit Partner while I go coach by the hour because it's bringing in the money.
Exactly.
Becomes an
Exactly.
opportunity. Is there
That's
anything
right.
else you want to show us before we wrap up?
No. This is pretty much it. I mean, there's a couple other, little pieces on here. You can look at some of the different calculations, some of the notes I've got in here. But for the most part, that's it. It's gonna be the entrepreneur's best friend. This is a game changer, I think. This
All
is
right,
one
y'all
that
heard it. You guys,
everybody's
you
gonna
have
do.
heard it from the originator, the creator, that it's going to be a game changer. So the question becomes,
That's
what are you
right.
going to do? How can you use this? Can you see what's happening here? Plugging in all of the things, because I have so many products, and I can just imagine if I looked at the products or the money that I want as the house, all of these become the rooms,
Right.
but the rooms have to and are associated and are connected to the house, if I may use that kind of analogy. So if you think about this, everyone, it starts telling you where you need to spend more time in, what room, and it
Yeah.
becomes a great partner to you.
That's
Okay,
right.
so hey, Stephen, thank you for letting us know about this, man. I think the numbers matter, right?
Numbers matter.
And I know you're engineer minded and all that stuff, and there's a whole bunch of math behind this, and we don't want to see that.
No,
But
we
I'm
don't.
so
We don't care
glad that
about
you
that.
did show us this. Thank you very much for that.
Yes. Yes. Part of the Spreadsheets for Success collection. This is the latest and greatest of that family. So definitely,
Again,
definitely take a look.
house, and these
Yes.
become the rooms.
That's right.
Decision Buddy,
That's right.
Profit Partner, right?
Yes,
Social Grain,
sir.
something that's coming up.
That's
So
right.
tell us, do you have website data to the whole house, and then they can decide on what room they want to pick? What was that? WW again?
So if you want to start in the living room, go to getdecisionbuddy.com. If you want to pull up to the front of the house, go to my Gumroad page, gumroad.com/spreadsheets. And I'm on Instagram as well at Spreadsheets for Success, or at the Social Grain, depending on which site you want to take a look at. But for the Spreadsheets for Success, take a look at either getdecisionbuddy.com, all one word, getdecisionbuddy.com, or gumroad.com/spreadsheets, and you'll find all of the I think, I don't know, 12 or 13 different spreadsheets that I've got out there now.
That's wonderful. Right. And what about Profit Partner? Does it have a direct domain?
Profit Partner is on that Gumroad site. I do not have a direct domain set up for that one yet. But it is on that Product Hunt site as well. So if you go to Product Hunt, and you'll be able to search Profit Partner. It might be under my name, Stephen Boylston. And you can see it right there. You can give me votes. You can
upvote it.
Upvote it. That's right.
Use upvote it and upvote it, everybody. We tell you to use it so that you can see the success that you get from this and how it's become a partner to you. And you can literally say, hey, I'm working on this. And let me tell you, it's done some really good things for me. All right, everybody. I appreciate you coming on and talking about this, man. We will talk again soon as I see some of the things that are possible that you can add to it, right? And then maybe some of the folks that upvote it and some of the folks that come on and use it, they can come in with some suggestions. So I'm sure we'll have some links for you to be able to go over there quickly and check it out. And then obviously, leave some information for you that you can contact Stephen as he's, continually building out. Everything's always beta, right? So as he builds it out and improves and sends updates and all that kind of stuff based on your suggestions, we encourage that. In the meantime, hey, thanks again for coming on. I appreciate you. And we appreciate you guys for listening.